This TK Irish coming from where else? Camp Kennerk. You know that crazy place where the Braves check in and the nervous never leave. Well, I'll tell you what, today is October 5th, 2025, and we have sports galore for you. And we have Doug, the neighbor, here to lead us through this. So, Douglas, yesterday had some action and some upsets going on in the college world of football. So, what'd you think?
TK, good morning. Sunday morning with all of the men in the galaxy checking their box scores, checking their teams, and trying to figure out how they can get out of cutting the lawn on a Sunday and just being around the house. That's what we're doing, and we're here to entertain them. Is that not true?
Well, yeah, I didn't think there was anything else. I mean, if they're taking us serious, well, then,
Yeah.
that's their issues, not ours.
Not ours. So, have you got your coffee?
Hey, this is my Aldi's black roast coffee. Man, I tell you what, this is really good. Now, the thing about Aldi, as we would say in the marketing business, it's for the cost conscious consumer. So,
Cost conscious consumer.
or
That
for
was
the
a mouthful.
That's a mouthful. Or we also say it's for the budget-friendly consumer. That's a little bit easier to say. But all these, it was my number one place. They got great dark roast coffee. So salute to you, and we'll catch up with you later on this one.
Okay. Well, I've got my Cafe Olay Texas pecan from HEB.
Oh, you switched it up.
And this week they had a $3 coupon.
There you go.
So I'm set and ready to go. And this is my Starbucks Are You There cup from Austin. I've got one from El Paso, Dallas, New York City, and now Austin. So I'm living the good life. And let's get into some sports.
All right, I'm ready to go. I got a great story to tell you later on. So you go ahead and you tell everybody what happened in the world of knock'em, rock'em, sock'em football.
Knock 'em, rock 'em. I love that. I love that. Now, first off, since I was in Canada when you and was it Kyle or Kevin that were doing the sports? Which one did the sports?
It was Kevin.
Kevin, we're doing the sports. Okay, now, first off, you boneheads don't know the difference between a cream puff and a powder puff.
Oh, I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that. I talked to him afterwards, and he goes, "Don't worry, he won't catch it. He's not that sharp."
Well, a cream puff is a little pastry thing with cream across the top,
Yeah.
right? So that is a football team that's not playing they're a cream puff. They shouldn't be playing in that division.
Okay.
But a powder puff is the women's league. You know, powder puff flag football, powder puff basketball. It's the women's league. You two boneheads, huckleberries, couldn't get it straight. That's why I'm here.
That's right. Well, thank you for setting us straight, Douglas, because I know Kevin was walking around scratching his head, going, "What's he going to say? What's he going to say?" I said, "He won't even catch it. He won't even catch
No, 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 my little huckleberry. Let me
it."
tell you, you boneheads do not even know where Oklahoma is. The Oklahoma Sooners, you had them in Stillwater. That is Oklahoma State.
Well, you gotta say at least we got within a 150-mile radius. I mean, we
Well,
didn't.
I'll give you that. But you see, we're talking serious information to our followers in the galaxy
Mhm.
of the Camp Kennerk Football Conference, which is the derivative of the old Southwest Conference that we grew up with.
Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
I'm going to have to get you to a bus ticket so you can go on up to Norman, Oklahoma, and see where Oklahoma is, and then another ticket of you can walk to Stillwater and see where Oklahoma State is.
Okay, that's a good idea. I need to get a road trip in.
There you go. I just had mine. It was beautiful. We got
Yep.
more information on their next podcast. But right now, let's get into the sports. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Now, to our loyal listeners around the galaxy, the Camp Kennerk College Football Conference is a derivative of the old Southwest Conference, the teams, but then through TV, greed, whatever, the teams have now split into different conferences, but our heart still follows these teams from the old Southwest Conference.
Yes, exactly.
That's that's where we are. Okay, so starting in the West, excuse me, in West Texas, we've got the Texas Red Raiders. They are now in the Pacific 12, and they played the Houston Cougars yesterday, and they beat them 35-11.
Okay.
Which very interestingly, Tech is now 5-0.
Yes.
And I mean, they are 5-0 with massive scoring.
Mm-hmm.
They are lighting it up. Now, next week, they're playing the Kansas Jayhawks.
Ah, the old
So the
Jayhawks.
odds of them going 6-0 is very good
Mm-hmm.
because they've been playing really well. Okay, let's move east here. We've got TCU. They played Colorado. That's Dion's team, Colorado, and they beat them 35-21. Now, TCU is in the Pac-12 and they are 4-1. And next week they play Kansas State.
Ah,
Now, interesting note, Kansas State played Baylor, and that was a real wild shootout. You can watch the last 4 minutes, and it is absolutely wild.
a real Donnybrook, huh?
Yes, and Baylor got out of it by 1 point, 35-34, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So TCU is 4-1. They're going to play Kansas State. Kansas State played Baylor, and they had a lot of fisticuffs going on.
Mhm.
So let's go next to SMU. They're in the ACC, and they played Syracuse, and they won 31-18. So that's kind of interesting because Syracuse is legendary, pretty good school. Came out with a lot of great running backs. I used to be able to name all of the great running backs from Syracuse, but time, lack of coffee, fog.
Well, didn't Jim Brown, the great Cleveland Browns running back, come out of Syracuse?
And yes, and I think who was that Miami running back who came out of there? There's a whole legend of them
Oh yeah.
that came out of Syracuse. So props to our Syracuse. We know who you are. We respect you, your running backs and your running game. Okay, now so SMU beat Syracuse 31-18. So SMU is now 3-2. And next week they play Stanford Cardinals, the real Stanford, not
Oh,
Stanford.
yeah,
Stanford,
exactly.
you know.
The
Okay.
intellectual Stanford.
Very good. Okay. And then Baylor going south to Baylor. Baylor's now in the Big 12 or the Big 40 or whatever they call it, because
Yeah.
some teams in it.
Mhm.
And they played Kansas State, and it was a real wild game, and they beat them 35-34. So Baylor is now 4-2. And then next week they got a bye.
Well, good for them. They deserve it.
They deserve it. Yeah, okay. So so they're 6 games in and they get a bye. And that's in our world, that's where the bye should you play half the season, you get a bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we believe, should be, but they don't call us.
No, they
Okay.
don't.
Now Texas, the Texas game, we got a lot to talk about here. They're in the SEC and they played Florida.
Yes.
And they lost to Florida 29-21.
Yes.
It
And it
was
was considered up. Was that considered an upset? I think so.
Well, yes, because here's a big problem. Texas was ranked number 9.
Yeah.
How could they be ranked number 9 when 3 of the teams they played were all cream puffs?
Well, it just goes to show you, you never know who's going to show up. It's it's
Yeah,
I would say it's not the luck of the draw, it's the luck of the booking.
yeah, the booking and and then the sports reporting. So that's why the Galaxy has to, or Galaxy Camp Kennerk fans have to listen to us because, you know, how could they be rated number 9 when 3 of their games that they won were against uh, cream puffs.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody will see that after yesterday's game that maybe the ranking isn't fair and they're overranked.
They're overranked, and Texas has got serious problems because Arch, everyone says he was a uh, Heisman contender at the start of the season. Well,
Hmm.
now he's looking a little just like another quarterback because
At best.
he doesn't have a front line. He was sacked like 4 or 5 times,
Oh, geez. He
a
was
couple of
looking.
times, two in a row.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez. So he was looking at the skyline for a while.
Oh yeah, he was eating dirt. It was so they're now 3-2, and then next week they're going to play Oklahoma. Now
Ah.
I'm going to bet a bag of popcorn that they're going to get shellacked.
Hmm. Now they're playing. This is at the Red River rivalry at
Yes, up
at the
there
Cotton
by
Bowl.
you in the Cotton Bowl. Yes, legendary time, good times, fun, and that's who they're playing next. Okay,
Well,
so and here in Austin, I'll get very excited about it. It's just good fun, good
yeah,
fun.
good fun.
But Texas is not just, this is going to be another slaughter. They're not looking good.
No, but on the same token, we've seen this countless times in a rivalry. You got to throw the past history of the record out of this for the season because they come up and they get a whole new attitude and want to prove something.
Well, absolutely true. But some of the games that the cream puff games that the Texas just went through 3 in a row, those games there were a lot of holes in the defensive backs and the lining. You would think that they would be have been coached. Okay, here's the problem: straighten it
Yeah.
out.
Hmm.
Wasn't straightened out.
Yeah.
Just was not straightened out. So, I don't know what's going to have to happen this week. I mean,
Well, maybe the other team's coaches is sort of like when Kevin and I did the sports. They think, well, maybe they won't catch it this time.
you got Doug the neighbor. I listened to it, watched it. What are you boneheads doing down there? You know, Oklahoma is in Norman.
Okay.
Oklahoma State is in Stillwater.
All right.
Okay. All right. So moving on. Uh, The Aggies are in the SEC, and they played Mississippi State, and they beat them 31-9.
Okay.
So now they're 5-0, and then they're going to play Florida next week, the team that Texas just played.
Uh-huh.
So there is going to be a game where it's going to be equals playing, two in the same league playing. So it's going to be very, very interesting that's going to happen there. Now we're down to Rice, and of course they're the original cream puff, and so they're in the American Athletic, and I'm not sure who they play because it's the original cream puff. We want those guys to think, don't play football.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Cure
Rock.
cancer, don't play football.
Rocket surgeons and
Yeah.
the rocket, whatever. Just don't think. Just don't play football. Okay. Now, and then we got we got Arkansas. Now, Arkansas had a bye.
Yes.
Okay. And then next week they're playing Tennessee. So there you go. And Arkansas is 2-3. So their team halfway through, they're on 2-3, and they're
I
playing.
think that did their head coach, get relieved of his duties here in the last week at
At,
Arkansas?
that's a good point. Our members or fans, viewers around the galaxy, they can call in and let us know.
Yeah.
Good point.
Subscribe, send us a comment. We need your updated information because we can't be everywhere all the time.
And don't yell at us.
No. Well, you can
just
yell, but
educate us. Don't yell
yeah,
at
yeah,
us. And tell us what your favorite pub is.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So then we got Oklahoma in Norman. Okay.
Yes.
And they're in the SEC, and they played Kent State.
All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
suspect.
That's an original cream puff.
That's a
So,
green puff. Yeah.
okay. And so the score was 44-0.
Hmm.
Now, we talked about the cream puff ratio, that if the cream puff beats the big team, the ranked team, there'd be double the money. We talked about
Yes.
it. And it's about
Hmm.
$1.5 million, so double the money. Well, you see, when you get shellacked 44 to nothing, I also think you should get 3 times the money.
Yes, because of the embarrassment, the low self-esteem that'll put on your players.
The
Oh yeah.
medical charges.
Oh yes, medical. Yeah. Yeah.
And you see that third portion goes directly to the players.
Of course. They're the ones that are out there knocking heads.
Yeah, though, yeah. So they all get cars or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they're already getting cars now.
Yeah. So something. So anyway, and then next week Oklahoma plays Texas in the OU game.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening. And I think it's an afternoon game. Later on in the week we'll do our homework, but I don't think it's an early game like usual, at 11 o'clock in the morning or something. I think it's an afternoon game.
Well,
Yeah.
they play the game at the Cotton Bowl during the State Fair of Texas, so there is just crowds of people there, crowds,
Yes.
tens of thousands, not just for the State Fair, not for the game. So,
Right. Yeah. So, and it's always good fun. The state fair is always good fun. Okay, so then we get into our teams, the
oh
teams
yes,
of our heart,
yes,
teams of our heart. Now we got Notre Dame, which is an independent, and they played Boise State. So Notre Dame is now 3-2. They played Boise State and they beat them 28-7.
yes,
Okay, and now next they're going to play North Carolina State.
yes.
Okay, now UTEP, my team, had a bye, so that's considered a win.
That's a very big one. That's the biggest win of the season.
Yes,
You guys tear the goalpost down and throw them off the
right.
bridge or something?
Yeah, because we were 1-4, we get the bye, so that means we're now 2-4 because we win the bye.
I'll give it to you.
Okay, now listen to this. Now this is odd. Okay, they get the bye, and then they play next Wednesday.
Okay, instead of Saturday, they get a half a bye.
So they had today or yesterday off, and so
Yeah,
they play for 4 days from now, whatever, Wednesday, and they're playing the Liberty Flames. Now, who are the Liberty Flames?
I have no idea.
That sounds like one of the name for one of the women's basketball teams, isn't
Well,
it?
I was actually thinking it sounded like more like a ladies roller derby team.
A Liberty
I
Flame.
mean, I mean, don't you remember those? And there's flame
Oh
that's going around Liberty, and Liberty's going to crush them.
yeah. Wasn't Rachel Welch in one of those roller derby films?
It could be. It's been a
Well, yeah, I was
while.
probably 15 and she was rolling around with her, with the equipment. This is beautiful.
I
Yes.
love this game, Coach. I love this game.
So UTEP that's in Conference USA, soon to go to the MAC or the Mountain or the WAC, whatever. It's all goofy over there, dude. They had a bye. They're now 1-4. They won the bye, so they're 2-4. But on Wednesday they're playing the Liberty Flames. Okay, now we are following a particular coach, Bill Belichick, out of interest because he was a legendary pro coach
Yes.
with the Patriots, and now he's come out of retirement and he is coaching at North Carolina. And they played Clemson yesterday, and they lost 38-10.
Ow.
It was 28-3 at the half.
Well, my hat's off for the other team because they're sportsmen. They didn't try to, they could have run the score up and blah, 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 but they're good sports.
Good sports, yeah. So North Carolina is now 2-3, and then on now this is another odd thing. Okay, this is another odd thing. Today is the 5th, so they played yesterday on the 4th. So the next Saturday is the 11th, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you get a bye, that would mean you would not play next week.
Yes.
The schedule says that North Carolina is not playing again until Friday, 10/17.
but they've already had their bye.
Yes.
Bye
And
bye.
they're playing
Let's tell them bye
California.
bye.
Yeah, they're playing California on Friday the 10/17th. So
Mhm.
it's not a bye, it's not scheduled.
I've not heard that one before. Maybe it has to do with getting a better airfare out to the coast or something.
But you take the Tuesday flight, yeah. Okay, so TK, they really need to call us. We
Yes.
can get very controversial in our podcast, but it's not in our nature. But
Hmm.
we still have the curiosity to say, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on? And then make humor of it. That is our style.
Irreverence.
Irreverence, yeah. So
That's what,
I want to repeat this again. Okay. North Carolina is playing AC in the ACC, American Atlantic Coast Conference.
mhm.
Got beat by Clemson 38-10. It was 28-3 at the half. So North Carolina is now 2-3, coached by legendary coach Bill Belichick, and we wish to follow him because of what he can do, possibilities of what he can do. I mean, we're going to follow him. Okay. They don't get a bye next week. The next game is 10-17 on a Friday against California. What's going on?
maybe
Right?
maybe it's just a typo, Douglas. Maybe someone just heard
Well,
you. This is what happened. They probably had a real easy game scheduled, and they heard you talk about the unfairness of that, and they said, "Oh my
Doug,
gosh, Doug the neighbor's on this. Let's just make some changes."
free advice for $1.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I agree with you. And when I do this, it's late Saturday night or Sunday morning, okay,
Uh-huh.
it all depends on that first or second cup of coffee. So when I do it the first run through, first cup of coffee, caffeine's hitting, then I check it on the second cup of coffee to make sure. What did I read?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what did I write down? Because I have to read my own writing.
Oh yeah, that helps.
That helps, yes. Okay, so I don't get it. Uh. All right, now let's move on here. Okay, now we're following the Oregon Ducks because that's Kevin's team.
Yes.
It's Kevin's team. Okay, and they're in the Big Ten or the Big 40 or whatever it is. I don't know.
Big something.
Some big number. Big number. How's
Yeah.
that? Big number. And they had a bye. Okay, now this is kind of interesting. Oregon is now 5-0, and they're playing your team, Indiana,
Ah,
next week,
yes. Who had a bye?
who
Uh,
had a bye. So they're both rested up,
uh-huh.
right? Where we
Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
everybody should be rested up to get the
Yeah.
bye. And so they're playing Indiana next week. So there should be a lot of fun going on. But you see, we're going to have to check the TV schedule for the OU game and then whether you can get the Ducks an Indiana game on ESPN 2 plus Amazon 3 for
Yeah.
$15.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So okay. Now, one last thing that we're going to add in Kyle's Happy Camper interview, he
Yes.
talked about how he was a fantasy league guy, and he mentioned that he wasn't doing very well.
Yes.
He just wasn't doing very well. But we need more details. What's the name of his league, the name of his team,
Okay.
who's his starting quarterback, who's got because I find that very interesting. A whole generation plays that. I never played it.
It's
Uh,
fun.
yeah, yes, it is fun. I played was in a fantasy baseball league back in the 80s, and we had to mail in our picks.
Yeah. Snail
Fantasy
mail.
mail.
Snail mail.
Yeah. And what was my team was the Doorbuster Specials baseball team.
Mm.
Doorbuster Specials.
There you
Okay.
go. Well, I'm
And
more concerned about Kyle's fantasy football that he does not come in last place.
yes, well, no, I'm root. You tell him I'm rooting for last place because I want to see the hair
You,
gone.
you want
Yes,
to,
yeah. Okay, now it reminds me a little bit of something, TK. One time I was in a bar in New York City with a Tavern on Jane, and about three or four people and a couple of gals walked in, and one of the guys was in a dress. One of
Okay.
the guys was in a dress, and he wasn't transitioning, right? He's one of the guys wearing a dress, okay? And everyone's laughing, they're buying drinks. And I went over to him, I said, "You lost a bet, didn't you?" He said, "Oh yeah, how'd you know?" I said, "Well, I've been around a little bit." And so we started chatting, and all of a sudden I laid a moment of truth on him to his
Mhm.
friends. He lost a bet, but you will always know that this man keeps his word, that
Exactly.
he showed up here. So
Hmm.
anything in the future, you may think you're going to laugh at him.
Hmm.
Look at this man in respect. He did not welch. He
Exactly.
kept his word.
He showed up.
He showed up, yes. So don't be, you giggle now, but
Mhm.
starting tomorrow,
That's right.
he did good.
Well spoken to him. I'm sure he appreciated that.
Well, shut his pals up. They're all having a good time. I was having a good time, but you know what? This guy, he's a man of his word,
Yeah,
and it's the only our word is the only thing that we have in our life.
exactly. Exactly. Integrity.
Integrity. Yes, yes. So, TK, that's what we have for the Camp Kennerk podcast for this week. Do you have any stories that might be
Yeah.
just
Yeah, something very interesting. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the oldest players that play college football, some Aussie kickers that were 35 and things of that nature. Well, I ran across one that just blew my socks off. A 58-year-old man by,
58-year-old man?
I didn't stutter, did I?
No,
Tom CeeLo uh,
Tom Stilo.
plays
Okay.
for the Coming University football team. That's
Where's that?
It's up in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It's in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. But here's the deal. He never played high school football. He didn't go to college until just recently when he decided that he wanted to play football. He's a defensive lineman, but he got involved in powerlifting. So that's how he stayed in shape, stayed young and everything. So he went to school, went to the coaches, told them what they wanted, and they said, "Well, if you can handle the workload, you gotta test in though by your speed and everything." And he passed. I mean, he wasn't the lowest man. He was competitive. So it's a hats off to the fact that this guy's 58 years old. His teammates, 18, 19, want to know when he's going to start collecting Social Security. So he's got a great sense of humor, and I have my hats off to him. Go for it. You're never too old. If it's your dream, it's reality. So hats off to Tom CeeLo.
I agree with you. Hats off to him. But, when we started this Camp Kennerk podcast with the sports section and the Camp Kennerk
Mhm.
uh, college football conference, we brought up some very interesting questions concerning the age limits of the team adults playing against teenagers
Mhm.
and the conferences and the buys. We have very serious questions,
Yep.
uh, cream puffs against team scheduling, that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
This raises another question. Now, hats off to Tom. Okay, hats off to him. He wished to fulfill a dream, but he's 58 years old, you said.
Yes.
So if he clobbers, and he's on the defensive line, so he sacks the quarterback and sends him into bye-bye land with an injury, is that assault?
No, it's a pepper.
Okay,
Because
so
you have,
a
at least in my house, you have a salt and a pepper. So, it's up to you which way you want to go. It's just how you like it.
okay. Yeah. Oh, you make me laugh. But okay, and then the other side. Okay, so he breaks through the line, and the running back is stalled there to protect the quarterback, and he drills him right in the heart, and he has a heart attack right then and there. Okay,
Yeah.
so is that murder?
No, it's called spirit of the game.
Spare again. These are questions that people wish to know,
I
TK.
understand. I understand. And I, I hope they sit around next Saturday when they're watching the game at halftime, bring this conversation up to themselves, and then they get back with us what their opinion is. Because
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. But the whole question of, isn't there an adult in the room to say, hey, Tom, we're going to have to pay extra insurance for you.
yeah.
Now, is he eligible for NIL money?
He does. Yes, he does have an NIL deal with a company called Asper Cream, which is sort of like you put it on your joints, when you're sore, for the aches and pains. So he has an NIL deal with them, and it's the Asper Cream is the only NIL deal they've done. They picked out Tom, they highlighted Tom, and they're making him go for it. So congratulations.
Oh, that's perfect. Now, doesn't Shaq have a cream that he rubs on his body? I see those ads every now
Yeah,
and
yeah, but he's a professional, and this guy is a college player, and so he's got a great sense of humor because look what he's doing, and they come to him, they say, "Oh yeah, I got a lot of aches and pains. Sure, how much you gonna pay me? Fine, let's go."
then. I get it. And now he's the cover boy, not for Sports Illustrated, but the AARP magazine.
There you go. It was just like who sponsored the Rolling Stones concert last year, but AARP. So
Yeah, right.
they know their market segment quite well.
All right. So how do we need to get Kyle to reach out to him and
Yes.
say we want him on as a happy camper interview. We'd
Yes.
love to talk to him.
Yes, I will. But next time well, he's overdoing presumed loss, so he hadn't been home for a couple of days. But
Oh, I see.
I know how to track him down.
Well, look at it this way. The Lycoming University would have a PR department.
Hmm.
It takes nothing more than a phone call to say, we'd like to have him on a podcast.
All right, I'll reach out to him.
That's all it takes. And of course, they could say yes or no.
Well, you want to reach out to Tom and have him on a podcast?
Yes, yes.
All right.
And we've got Kyle, who was
Yeah.
looking for work, and he's now our booker for
Yeah.
our podcast. And we
Yeah.
have more people who wish to be happy campers interviews. We wish to interview him.
Okay. We'll get both of them on
Yeah, there you go.
it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. This is always lovely. This is always good.
Well, Douglas, I gotta run. I gotta go practice my chip shots. I got a game later on this afternoon. So, practice makes perfect. It's always great seeing you, talking sports on Sunday. Doesn't get much better than that. So, as we say around here, goodbye, farewell, and Aaron Goodball.
Cowboys are on at 2:30. No, they're on at noon today. So go Cowboys.
There we go. Thanks.